The Nintendo Shack is back. Welcome to PSVG's Nintendo Shack, a proud member of the PSVG podcast network, and of course, a lovely member of that little Patreon group you might have heard of over at Make It Better. I am Jason. I'm here. I'm back. You never know what you're gonna get. You never know. It's a dice roll. Will I show up? Will I not? I am here. Donnie Reese is here.
Greetings, Koopalings. I'm excited, man. I feel better. Every day that passes, I feel better and better. It started with Flux, and now I flexed with Flux, and now I'm here to game with the Dame.
Game with the Dame, dude! What's up, yo?
Oh my
God,
dude! we have a special guest joining us. You might have heard from him. You might have heard a little podcast he does. It's called Nintendo Dads. Marty Estes.
What's up, guys?
Welcome, sir.
He immediately is regretting this decision. He's like, what did I get into?
No. This was not, no, here's the thing. This was not a last minute phone call or a Discord message in the middle of the night asking someone to be on another podcast after they just recorded theirs. This was set up in advance. It was fancy.
I was happy.
Planning.
I was happy
well
to
planned.
step in and will anytime, as I imagine so would Caroline and Jason.
Absolutely.
Yep. So,
Jason.
how you guys doing? I'm out of practice. How did we do this show again? It's been a while.
I do the notes.
I don't know.
You host the show.
Oh,
I say snarky things.
perfect. Okay, I got it. Well, it's good to be back. I'm glad to be here on a Thursday. Shack Night, Shack Life. We're glad you're
Shack
here.
Life.
Maybe you're watching. Hopefully you're listening. And we always thank you for that. We've got a lot going on, and I think it's best just to get right into it. Guys, we had the Nintendo Switch online service. It launched this week.
Yes, it did.
Bong.
Let's discuss. We're on a podcast. That's what we have to do, right? But before we just kind of jump into everything, let's kind of recap our thoughts kind of leading up to the actual launch itself. We saw a bunch of reports going out. What was happening with the cloud saves, or I should say what's not happening with cloud saves. The DRM checks that were in place on the NES games, and this whole debacle about there's controllers, but you got to be a member to buy it.
I've already said I said my piece on Fluxpose, and I said my piece last week. So
I kind of did too. But
Yeah, I was one of the detractors that kind of wish that Nintendo didn't come with all the fine print that they typically come with.
Right?
So I'll let the rest of you guys kind of get in here.
If we're just talking about cloud saves, like, yeah. It's kind of typical Nintendo fashion, don't you think?
Mhm.
Yeah, I just... It's cloud saves, but it's not. There's
It's cloud saves with strings attached.
Yeah.
that's a good way of putting it. I just, I wasn't gonna be sold or not sold on this thing from cloud saves. I know a lot of people,
Right.
Sean Capri, are like really, really banking on the cloud saves and stuff. And I think it's a great thing to have, and I think that definitely we need to start going that way for all games, pretty much, especially if we're going to have all of these accounts and whatnot. But it's not something that's actually causing me to have any grief over what they're doing.
Yeah.
Yesterday was very confusing for me because this is my one gripe so far, and I'm going to talk about this on our show this week too, that I don't understand why there wasn't just a button that said update cloud saves.
Yeah.
Like, why did I have to go in yesterday afternoon and spend upwards of an hour opening and closing every single one of my games and doing updates for them and switching out all my cartridges? And yeah.
See,
Why
I
did
haven't
have
done
to do
that.
Oh, okay. I haven't done that either.
See, okay. I got a little obsessed, right? Because
It's like, I gotta do them all.
I went to the menu and all of them said not backed up or waiting to back up, right?
Right.
And I said, no, I can't have this. And then somebody had said in our Discord, you got to open your game and you got to close it out for it to back up. So,
Oh gosh.
here's the thing. a good way to find out exactly how many review copies of games you have that you've forgotten about is to go in and have to do that.
I was going to ask how many games did you see there that
my
you
God.
forgot you had or had archived?
I'm going to open my Switch. There are some games that I just don't even have on my Switch anymore.
Exactly, and they're still in the list.
This was back when I did not have a 400 gigabyte SD card.
Nice.
Oh my goodness.
400.
Yeah.
I got it on a good sale on like Prime Day or
Nice.
something.
I got my 128 on a great sale too on Best Buy, but yeah, that's.
I'm with you. I didn't
All
see
right.
that. I didn't see the post in the Discord, but I did when I checked mine. I noticed that mine was set to automatically back everything up, which I didn't want. Like for whatever reason, I just thought it might be a hassle, so I went and I turned them all off, except for Breath of the Wild was the one that I was like, let's back that one up.
It's bad when you have to pull out your calculator app on your phone to figure out how many games you have on the Switch. 134.
Nice.
Oh my God.
Nice.
But Switch,
Bro.
Switch has no games though.
Switch has no
Switch
games.
has no
There's no games.
Hopefully Nintendo has all my cloud saves now. I mean,
Goodness.
I don't even know if it finished. It was. I started it yesterday after lunch, and I had to stop around like supper time and come back to it later on just to be sure that all my updates had done. And I was trying to update all the first party games. I was trying to make sure that I had the new version of Mario Tennis and Mario Kart and all those things so I could try them out with the online service. But here's one thing that I did see. Besides that initial hiccup, it's actually worked really well.
Agreed.
Now, I don't know how much I trust it because again, this is Nintendo, and like them janitor might unplug the power strip that's holding down the cloud saves, but
oh my
Runs
God.
over at the vacuum. It's like, oh, sorry.
right.
I mean, it's like the one thing where you have a system that you encourage people to take with them,
Mhm.
make it portable, play anywhere, but don't drop it because you
Don't
not
leave
gonna-
it. Don't get it.
yeah.
Don't get it stolen. Don't break it. Yeah, I actually had a scare that I shared in our Discord.
I've been there.
The first time I tried to do anything with the cloud data backup, I clicked on. I went to settings. I went to cloud data management. My entire Switch froze, and nothing would move. I couldn't do anything. The buttons were not. So I held down the power button and auto powered it. Power cycled it. It shut off. Then it wouldn't come back on. And I was like in this 20-minute period where I thought, oh no, I'm one of those people.
Oh no.
But then I was able to get to my charger. And when I plugged in the charger and pressed the power button, it miraculously rebooted and came back online. But I was like, I was really scared for a good 15 minutes there. I was like, oh no.
Okay, listen. There's a little bit of confession time here, right?
Ooh.
Everybody needs to confess. You went and backed up your Breath of the Wild save first, right?
Immediately.
I haven't done any of it.
Immediately.
That was number one. That and Mario Odyssey was number one for me.
I gotta
it's
make
like,
sure
I
Mr.
have,
Shifty gets black.
I have
back
500 something moons, and I'm not doing that again.
Not-
I'm just not. I love Mario. I'm not doing
there.
it.
See, over here in the shack, we're planning a return to Hyrule trip soon when one of our PlayStation members buys his Switch. So I backed up my save file because I am particularly looking forward to deleting it and doing it all over again. So I was like, just in case I don't go all the way through or anything, I can just restore my old one and I'm safe.
That might be what it
When
takes for me to replay.
You said delete it and do it over again, and
Yeah.
my blood pressure just went up. Like,
Why are all of
like-
mine? All right, question. Why are all of mine waiting to back up?
because
Okay,
that's like the
so-
default thing.
you have to open.
Oh no, I set mine to auto. You have to open and close each.
It's when you
Yeah.
close the game that it actually does it.
That's why I turned mine off and went and reset just the ones that I want to manage because I don't want to manage every game in my entire library. I just want to manage the ones I want.
Guys,
Wish we
I'm
had
a
our
physical
sound effect.
collector. I'm a physical person.
Understand?
I have to literally go in and pop in each individual cart.
Or don't back them all up.
Yep.
Oh, and
That's
then
not
and then
happening.
find out yesterday, like I did, that 8 of my physical games needed updates.
Yeah.
Yeah,
While
I do
everybody
that too.
was signing up for the online, and it was like this game will update in an hour and 25 minutes. Just plug it in and walk away.
It took a good 20 minutes
Fine.
for all of my Joy-Cons to back up or to update, because that was another thing.
I started doing that, but I've got, God, do you know how many pairs of Joy-Cons I have?
See, when you're a peasant like me, you don't have to worry about that sort of thing.
Did you guys notice that? And I don't know if it's with this update or it has always done this. This was something that I
think
happened upon. The Bluetooth update.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can update them over Bluetooth.
Yep, you can just turn on the Joy-Cons
nice.
and they will all update. You don't have to attach them anymore.
Oh, that's cool.
Problem is, like, majority of mine are dead because I only have enough charge areas for like 4 at one time. So that's the problem. I'm gonna have to wait for them to charge and then turn them on and all that crap.
Has anybody
Carol.
actually played online multiplayer and used like the app, the phone?
I have.
Is it better?
I used it to play Dr. Mario and Mario Brothers with Sean Abbott, who's a fan of our show. And the voice worked flawlessly. It connected without a hitch. And I say the voice worked flawlessly. The online connection was absolutely awful.
Yeah.
But you know, we pay for it.
Playing Dr. Mario was like move the stick, then the pill moves. Like 5 seconds.
Oh God.
But he said it was probably on his end because they were streaming a show for his kid. So I was uploading to YouTube at that time as well. So
that's probably a mixture
probably
of that.
on both of us. But it we're gonna do this right after I finish recording with you guys tonight. We've started kind of like having an hour like pre-show of gaming before we record.
Oh, nice.
And we're gonna do some Mario Kart 8s and try with the app tonight.
Nice.
Okay.
Well, I mean, it's it's not ideal, but the thing is that everybody who is complaining about it is already doing it with Discord.
Right.
That's true.
Right. That's what we do.
That's what we do.
So the thing is like why if it's going to connect you like even now to random people that you're playing with, which it's doing in Mario Kart and other games, I really don't. If you're already doing it with Discord, I don't see the gripe.
Yeah.
Unless it's just I don't want to use my phone when I'm sitting at home, and I get that.
Yeah,
because I mean Fortnite's already showing that it can be done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just like my whole thing about online this week has been like I've watched the mob form. Right?
Oh no, hang on. We have a question for this. Don't spoil it. We have a question. We're gonna get to that later. But Jason, the other thing that launched in addition to the online service was the NES app, which I do want to get out of the way early because, like Caroline likes to say, I was right. I called it. Who called Virtual Console separate app? Let's get it out of the eShop. Let's separate it. Let's do its own contained thing. That was this guy like 8 months ago, and I love it. It's great.
I like the concept. I mean,
what is it you don't like about it? The games?
Here I've learned quickly, nostalgia is a beautiful thing. Because for me, I haven't touched NES games since the NES.
Better left unvisited.
I mean, I have the classic, but I haven't this was the first time I played Mario 3 since I was probably like 12 years old. So I mean that's been kind of fun to like go back to. But I mean, no, I guess I can't say that because I am having a lot of fun with it. I've been playing with Lucas. We've been playing Tecmo Bowl. We've been playing soccer. We've been playing ice hockey. So I've played quite a bit of it. That's like the only stuff I played this week. Like my biggest gripe is when you're playing, and I've had mixed results. I've had flawless connection, and I've had just terrible connection, like unplayable. And your game pauses, and it'll give you that message. You're having connectivity issues with your friend. Use the gear to change the settings, but it doesn't tell you where that's at. And the only way I found where that was at was doing some Googling, and you have to be inside the online mode. And then when you're at your game screen, you hit the options button, and there's no prompt that tells you. But when you're on the options button where you can pick your screen resolution, your pixel perfect, your 4:3, or your CRT, you hit the Y button, and then it says it changes the latency modes. But there's no prompt
explanation.
There's no key for it. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then that's a bit of a head scratcher. I'm like, well, I shouldn't have to look up how to do this when you're.
Eventually, everybody will figure it out. Everybody will just figure it out.
That's just
no,
when
it's
it tells you to go to options, but it doesn't tell you how to do it. It's just, and I noticed, and we noticed no difference. It wasn't any better or any worse, but playing Tecmo Bowls. Been a blast. Shameless plug. The Nintendo Shack is hosting a Tecmo Bowl tournament through challenge.org. We have 4 slots left, Donnie. Is that correct?
Maybe 3 now. I know I've had several people say they wanted to. I think somebody else got in, but we're going to try to get to 16 before we kick it off. So if you're hearing this and you want to do it, drop by the Discord, drop by the Twitter. We have links out there. I know Justin from Nintendo Ads is going to come play. Maybe Nintendo Guru is going to pop in. We're still trying to peer pressure Sean into doing it. But you
do realize that I didn't sign up, right?
Yes. I don't know why not.
I suck.
Who cares? We all nobody's good.
Dude, I suck at Tecmo Bowl.
I do too, but it's still fun to play.
Does
you can still play.
Understand Tecmo Bowl when they play it, or they just like?
I love Tecmo Bowl.
Run around.
Tecmo Bowl's amazing. I was gonna say, but you got the Sean and the Garys of the world out there just making fun of how awful Tecmo Bowl is.
Pretty much.
Tecmo Bowl is amazing.
Sean, there was a time when Sean Capri was like supportive and he wanted to help
cool
foster ideas. Like, you're building community. You're outreaching from your podcast and building community. Nope, I'm just gonna crap all over you and tell you how stupid your ideas are and how bad this game looks.
Sean Capri,
because I've got the most powerful Xbox podcast on the internet. Love you, Sean.
Sorry, Mark.
So no, you're fine. It's totally fine. The NES thing.
I'm not bitter though.
The NES thing for me has been like my favorite part of it. To be honest, like this is the part that I could not wait for to download and try the. And we kind of on our show, like leading up to this a long time ago, we had talked about how this could be something like a Netflix is what we called it.
Yes.
And lo and behold, it's what we got.
Yep.
The only the only downside to it, and just with some of your comments about how nostalgia is not as good as you thought it was, they really started with a lot of what I would call more primitive NES games.
Yeah.
Right. Baseball, soccer, pro wrestling, tennis. But then you've got like Mario 3 and Gradius and a few more advanced games like that. I was really surprised as they revealed those games. And I talked about this when they did do that reveal, that we were going to get third-party games because those first 10, that they revealed were only Nintendo games. And I was like, well, okay, so that's how it's going to be. We're just going to get first-party Nintendo games, and everybody else is going to have to do like a Mega Man Legacy Collection or something like that to get their games out there. It gives me hope that down the line, we at least we know what we're getting through the end of the year,
right? Yeah.
But down the line, we're going to get hopefully Castlevania and some of those other NES classics, the real classics. And honestly, like with what they're doing with like Sega Ages came out today, right on the eShop, Sonic and Thunder Force 4, right? And then or they're calling it Lightning Force, I think. But then they also announced this week that they're doing the Sega Genesis Classics Collection.
Yep.
So, it's kind of like you got a double dip, or you can double dip on it. I kind of see them doing some of that with this. Like, we know there's Mega Man Legacy Collection out, but here's Mega Man on the Nintendo Switch Online, whatever NES entertainment system.
I mean, as long as they give Capcom or whoever a cut, I'm sure it would be no problem.
The only thing that I noticed that I was kind of put off by was, I don't know if it's just me, but for those of you who have an NES Classic, these don't look as good as they do on the NES Classic.
I haven't noticed difference.
I watched the comparison from Game Explain. I didn't really notice much of a difference. But
maybe I'm just maybe I was sitting in the wrong place in my house. I don't
know.
No,
I know. I take your word for it. I've played.
I just thought it didn't look as bright. Like it didn't look as vibrant.
I played the first two. I played the first two worlds of Mario 3. Got the whistles, but I got to admit, everything I've done with the NES app has been completely portable. So I don't know if maybe the lack is putting on the TV maybe brightens it up a bit. I don't know.
Well, it was definitely not Wii U garbage quality.
Yes, that I can agree with.
Yeah.
So that was in and of itself above and beyond a great thing. And I'm a sucker for punishment and spending my money. I'm buying the controllers.
Are you really? Why?
too.
Why? For what reason?
I'm going to tell you why. Because I grew up playing the NES, and I can't imagine playing those games any
Do you
other
have
way
an
than
NES
on that
Classic?
controller. Yeah,
Why don't you just play them there?
because then I can't. I'm not going to pack my NES Classic and take it with me.
That's true.
Yeah.
It fits in a cargo pocket.
And my NES Classic cords are 2.5 feet long. That's why. And the NES Classic, yes, I've hacked mine,
yeah,
full
I do that too.
disclosure.
Yeah.
but I don't have some of these games on there.
Okay.
And like I almost like ruined a friend's NES Classic because I went back in to add more games and I had the panic moment like, oh my God, I've erased it.
Got to back up the
I'm
kernel,
gonna
man.
have to give him mine. And finally I got it work. I got it fixed. Everything was good, but I'm not doing mine anymore. I've got the games on there I want to get. I'm good. But look, this is always with me, right? I have a dock at my office. I have a dock at my house. I have a dock at my parents' house
Jesus.
for when we go visit.
It's like an electric car with him. He's just like plugs up at all.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I go.
Hold on, I gotta
all I
charge.
have to do is take this, and I'm good. And that's why I'm going to get them. That and I am absolutely 110% 8-bit retro fiend. Like that's
Okay.
Like
Caroline, is that the same reason you're getting yours?
I'm getting them because they're limited
Because
and
she has to have all the things.
She has to have
she
the
said
things.
they put limited on the sticker, and she's like, I have to have it. That's ridiculous.
though it's really hard for me not to buy that.
They're
Golf Story
$60. They clip in. You can only play the NES games with them. They don't play any other games at all. I just
For
don't.
now.
I'm
They're-
still
they're
not
like
hearing anything
software.
that's a detraction.
Just use the Joy-Con. It's like the same thing. You sideways,
No.
you've got the
You
stick.
know,
except there's no D-pad.
After playing, I've played handheld and I've played with my Pro controller. It feels weird playing these games with these controllers. Like at least with the Pro controller, you got the D-pad.
I'm hoping
Because-
that a future update gives us remappable buttons.
Yeah, that was one of the things.
Yeah.
That would be,
Having to use the actual B and A feels weird.
For Mario,
Yeah.
it does for
One
sure.
Y and B.
yeah. And then, man, trying to play with the Pro control, like the handheld mode with the Joy-Cons, like you have to use the analog stick because, like, trying to play like Tecmo Bowl, for instance, it's so hard to run diagonally with the segmented buttons like
Yeah.
that. I mean, and I'm just like, I need a D-pad. Give me a D-pad.
Mhm.
Maybe I'll just.
You can always buy the Hori Joy-Con.
I'll just be
and,
the NES. hater.
get an hour of battery life out of your Switch when they're connected.
Yeah, no kidding.
Well, see, when I was on vacation, I decided to drop my Switch. So luckily, the Joy-Con took the abuse. So I'm eventually going to try my hand at just putting a new
the D-pad in it.
case. Yeah, put a new case on there, but a new shell. That's the words I'm looking for.
The atomic
But
purple one.
Yeah.
Probably.
My favorite update, my favorite feature with the 6.0 update and the launch of Nintendo Online is, I think it's the most important update, and it's one that they didn't even talk about.
Yeah, the whole messaging. We could spend a podcast alone on that.
Oh yeah.
Nintendo is going to allow us to finally game share, and those of us over here in Shackland know that I've been fretting about this ever since I decided to buy that Pokemon Switch, because up until last Tuesday, I was preparing for a day where I needed to convert all of my digital games to physical games so my kids could play them on their Switch, and we were going to have to start rotating things. I was going to have to double buy things. That's not the case anymore. I can put my profile on the kids' Switch, and as long as they have access to an internet connection, they can log in, verify my account has access to those games, and they can play them on their Switch. Now, if I play that game at the same time, it will pause their game session. We can't play both at the same time. So essentially, it treats the digital copy of the game just like a physical copy of the game. You can't play it, the same place in two places. Although, specifically with single player stuff, GameXplain did a video where apparently you actually can. So let's say on both Switches, my Switch and the kids' Switch, I have Breath of the Wild in my profile. If the kids log in and connect to the internet on mine, Jack can play Breath of the Wild. If I disable the internet connection on mine, I can also play Breath of the Wild because I'm running it locally.
Right.
And we can both play the same game at the same time. So this is huge. Huge. I actually think it's the biggest noteworthy update in this entire thing that they never even mentioned. Like, I just found it on Twitter. Somebody was like, they're letting you do this now. I was like, what? Why didn't they say this in the direct? Why was this not in the thing? Why wasn't a feature?
Well, because they didn't know how to explain it in a way that didn't confuse the crap out of everybody.
Well, it's just
They could've
Donnie
just did
sends,
their
Donnie sends
graphic.
us this thing, and he's like, "Guys, explain this to me." And I'm like,
Yeah.
"I think it's saying this. I think it's saying this."
Even
and
we were like confused. I was like, does this mean I can play this game?
The only problem that I have with it is that I don't have internet at my house. We have the only internet we're able to get is satellite internet. So for us, and we get 150 gigs a month. That's why I'm here in my office podcasting. I come to work to podcast.
Wow.
So yeah,
That's insane.
So the thing is that the having to have a constant internet connection kills that for my son.
Yeah.
Because it's not using the internet to run it, but it's constantly pinging the internet
connection,
to make sure that he's not stealing it or
That
whatever.
sucks, man.
I'm hoping that they'll bump it down to like a week, just like they did. Which I don't know if you noticed this, probably not, because you live in the land of fast internet and the 1990s. When Nintendo Online started up for the first time, the NES, it did a check.
Yeah.
Did you notice that?
Yeah.
Checking to
Oh,
see if
yeah,
you
I
could play
noticed
these
it.
games.
Yeah.
And that took like 30 seconds
Yeah.
in my house.
Wow.
Which wasn't, I mean, comparatively to what I normally do to like download a game and stuff, I usually don't even download at home.
Mine wasn't 30 seconds, but it was a brief pause. Yeah, it was like
Yeah.
Well,
So-
he's saying that, like that's just his connectivity.
That's how slow the connection is, even
Yeah.
though, but there's no way that I could, like, that would suck up our whole month worth of internet. Even that, and like, it sucks because I have a Switch with the majority.
Yeah.
I told you guys, I got 134
same
games.
here.
20 of those are physical.
And when we started with the Switch,
Everything else is,
I bought almost everything digital like at the start. So I've Cart,
Yeah.
Splatoon, Breath of the Wild. So yeah, it's
see,
big
like,
plus.
I don't like a lot of the bigger games. I don't have digital, but like, it's a lot of indie stuff that he wants.
Sure.
and
Yep.
and would love to play, and I would love it to be able to do it, but maybe there's a way in the future, maybe as they update and as they flesh it out and as they listen to people, because one thing Nintendo has shown in this latest console cycle is at least they're listening, right? Because I really feel like some of this is products of them listening to people.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
even the virtual console, I mean, call it what it is, it's virtual console, right?
Mhm.
Nintendo Online is virtual console. They said we don't want to pay for these games again. Nintendo said that's fine, great. We'll put them in a package. We'll give you 3 a month. You pay give us $20 a year. You'll be fine.
Yep.
That's listening.
Mhm.
Cloud saves is listening. All this stuff. Now they're implementing it in their own Nintendo way,
Right.
but they'll catch up eventually, guys. They didn't even know that you could play games online 5 years ago.
I'm
Xbox.
What's 4K?
I'm interested to see once we actually get like some official wording on the whole fact, like if you, let's say you only had a month, how long do they give you when your subscription isn't active? Where
what's
they go,
that grace
okay,
period?
your cloud saves gone, your access to the games gone. I'm assuming the games is probably quicker, but I hope that it's not like one day and then all your cloud saves are just.
No, I think I liken it to like Pokemon Bank, where until you renew, that stuff is still there.
The problem is on their Q&A, they have said that the moment your subscription ends, you lose access to you no longer have them. They haven't verified that they keep them yet. So people are
Right,
assuming that
if
they're
they're
gone.
gone or you just don't.
Now
have
here's
access.
my thing is if they are in fact gone instantaneously, can't they just like kind of get around all of the whining and crying by letting you know that it's about to expire? Couldn't they just like hit your Switch with a message
Send
like,
you an
by the
email.
way, your stuff, your subscription ends Saturday. So if we were you, either renew or back up your saves
I
while you
want to
can.
say that when I subscribed, there was a thing that was telling me your subscription will expire on
I got an email.
blank. You got an email.
I got an email.
Okay. Well then, but here's the thing: if you got an email when you signed up and it gave you an expiration date, wouldn't it serve to say that we're probably going to get one?
I'd imagine so.
I mean, if they already know that, I would think that's possible.
I still
Yeah.
think a grace period, though, And I think there is one. I just can't imagine that a company would do that for.
No,
you think something so minimal as like some megabyte storage. I just can't imagine.
Okay, so when I go to the eShop right now, right here's the big banner at the top.
Yep,
I've bought it, and it very clearly says Nintendo Online, Switch Online, and then very clear next to it, deadline to turn off automatic renewal.
Yeah.
It even gives it down to the minute.
Oh, wow.
So you're going to be able to see at 6:25 on the 16th of this month, or on the 16th of this month next year, I need to be sure that I have enough money in my bank account to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of be nice to see if they would tie some account stuff or things like that into the app, and you could do like
that
push notifications or something like that out through there. But instead of, I think now would be a great time to have some more bells and whistles with that app besides just Splatoon and voice chat.
Yeah.
But
Splatoon
is what it is. We
I don't know that we'll see anything past Splatnet. I know they advertise that. I highly doubt we'll see anything.
I'm hopeful that we get something for Smash Bros. Like, even if it's just I can go in there and view my stats or anything, or even just that. But it just, I don't know. There's all this empty. It bothers me because I'm big on symmetry. There's all this empty space, and it's just
the Splatnet banner.
Yeah, just the Splatnet.
I mean, look at their current offering of games. Look at what's coming out, right? What are they going to offer? Like, what are they going to put there? Unless, I could see possibly something for Pokemon.
Yeah, Pokemon,
yeah.
Like maybe letting you see your Pokedex without opening the game, but then can't you do that with Go anyway?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Because they're going to talk back and forth to each other, right?
Sure.
At least one way, yeah. No, the Pokemon, yeah. At least one way. I don't know about the other way, but at least one way.
I think Go just implements into Let's Go, and there's no backwards.
Can't push back. But yeah, no. So you guys are right, but I don't care about that app at all.
Darn right, we're
enough
right.
To really.
I don't either.
I'm not going to use it. I'm just not going to use it. I mean, Marty, you hit it on the head. Like, we use Discord. We partner up all the time. It's easy. Yep. It's easy to stream that way. Like, it's just not.
Yeah.
It's not a thing for us. So it's not a really thing.
Well, I want to give it a fair shake, and I'm not saying you're not, but I want, like, you already have a system in place, right? Mm-hmm. I don't use Discord or the other enough either way, so I want to give it a fair shake just to be able to say, hey, okay, I tried it or whatever. I just don't want it to be something where I write it off and then go, okay, it was pretty good, right?
I mean, we used it. Was that the only time you guys used it? That one time we played Salmon Run together with Coach Mo?
I played Salmon Run with a few people using it.
From a quality standpoint, it would work. Like the voice quality was good, and I think the interface it has during the chat is fun. It reminds me a bit of like the ARMS multiplayer lobby a little bit with the animated little bubbles going around. So
I think that it's interesting how easily it connects. It's pretty effortless. So I don't know, like if I'm going to play a game and I got to use the official app, great.
Yep. Because
the other day we were playing the other week or last week on Mario Kart, and I was on Discord and was playing, and I switched, like I was sitting here at my desk and I opened my computer to check something, and I have Discord on the desktop as well, and it just opened and all my chat moved to the desktop without telling me. And I was like, well, that won't happen with the Nintendo app.
Yeah, right?
Nope.
I'm surprised
there's nowhere else for it to go.
Right. Surprised they haven't given us another official solution for besides the dongle. Like, we've seen, other companies come out with, we have something that got just shared on our Discord. I can't remember, Donnie, you know what brand it was. The one Devin shared, that headset that has Bluetooth and the 3.5 millimeter connection, so you can connect to your phone and you do the voice chat through that to the headset. But then it also would connect to the Switch
that's right.
via Bluetooth or
It's $100.
You connect to the head.
$100.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
expensive. You connect to the one device through the plug, then you get audio. But then you connect to your phone to the Bluetooth to do the
joke's on
voice, so you can
anybody who
get
buys
both.
that, and then the online app is going to be dead in a year.
Or they
Well, you might
hit
have
the
a
next
decent headset,
update
at least.
and
Yeah.
it stops working for a week or so. Like my
Yeah.
third party
That too.
controller.
Yeah, right. So
Oh,
That was the first
right.
thing that Donnie tweeted out. He's like, "Can confirm with the 6.0 update.
My third party
my
pro controller
external
works.
third party controller works." Yep.
Yep, it
Yep.
works. It works. We've
Should
got
we
a lot of
do
questions. Yeah, we
I'll
got a
make
lot
sure
of
we get
questions
time
that
to
I
get
think
those,
will
so.
help flesh out the rest of this. But let's get right into it. Sean writes in. Sean, who's in the chat, writes in. Lots
Sean.
of complaints prior to the Nintendo Switch Online launching. Lots of people subscribed as soon as they could. How do you feel about the apparent hypocrisy? Tell Caro I say, dude. And then on that tweet thread, it, of course, with Sean posting something like this, a lot of people chime in. Bad Bit and both True Minato said, I don't think it's really hypocrisy if you don't have a choice if you want to play online.
Yeah, I mean, if
So-
there's games you
This
want
is
to play.
true.
I took this personal because I've been kind of the person, the entire time leading up to this, I've said it 100%. I'm getting this as soon as it launches. I was
Yeah.
never wavering in that. I was going to
Well-
get it. We want to play Overcooked. We want to
Yeah.
play Splatoon. My
Yep.
thing was not the service, not the features, not if it was worth the amount of money or not. That was irrelevant. My thing was all of the Nintendo-ness that was going on, all of the fine print was ruining an opportunity for them to launch something that was truly strong. The lack of messaging. What are these special promotions we get access to? Is this
Yeah.
a real virtual console replacement? Should we expect SNES and N64 support and GameCube support? They could say things. They could say things without, they could at least let us know. That would just make this whole thing better. They could have said, hey, game sharing.
Yeah.
They could have just said that. If they would have said game sharing, I would have been sitting here rambling about how I can't wait to get it. Like, it would have saved all of my problems and all of my concerns. The problem is with Nintendo, through this entire thing, they've said none of it. All they've said is, you get some NES games, you're going to be able to use this app, and we're going to give you a coupon, maybe. You don't even know what
you're
it's going to
play
be.
online.
Yep.
That's it.
Here's the thing. I find the argument of we're being forced to pay to play online. So, and I'm going to say it, and I'm probably going to make some of your listeners mad. I don't care.
That's
It's
what we do.
stupid. It's stupid.
Yeah.
And here's why. Because I don't hear one single person saying this about PlayStation or Xbox.
We actually...
Come at me, bro.
Sean Capri says he's offended.
We talked about this quite a bit actually when they announced that this was happening, because we had a lot of our Xbox and PlayStation folks like, wow, Nintendo's doing this? And we were sitting here in the same seats going, you literally pay another company for the same
I
thing.
know.
Yeah. And here's the thing. Also on this end of this, I have no sympathy for you. You had a year.
That's true.
You
Yeah.
knew it was coming.
Yeah.
If I love how everyone who has crapped all over this week has been like, it's not about the money. It's not about the money. But then every time that they say something about it, they're like, it's only $20. You pay for what you get.
Oh
Well,
my God.
Which one is it?
That's
Which
so
one
funny.
is it? Is it not about the money, or is it only $20?
That's
you
so
pay for
funny
what you
because
get?
Yeah.
I've been arguing almost the exact flip side of that argument. That's hilarious because everybody to me, it's like, Donnie, it's only $20. I'm like, that can't
Yeah.
be the best thing you're saying about the service.
No,
like,
that
why
can't
aren't
be
we
the selling
talking
point.
about
Yeah.
all the awesome features, not
Yeah.
the
I
money?
also think it's ironic, and this is that we as a collective fandom literally flipped our ever-loving crap for the NES Classic.
Yeah.
And now that we have free NES games on our Switch, we're like, these all suck. I'm bored of them.
That's the
This
best.
sucks.
You suck.
I don't want NES games. I want Super Nintendo
Yeah.
games. I want N64 games. I want real games.
I'm so
I'm
glad I
entitled.
invited him to come here tonight.
This suck.
Well,
The face was
Ah.
I was the person during the NES Classic launch
I
that was
still
like,
hate
these
Ghouls and
games
Ghosts.
suck.
the thing about it is I drove to get an NES Classic. That I could not find them anywhere. I found one in a town an hour away, and I nigh on killed myself to get one of them.
Wow.
I made it an hour drive in 30 minutes.
God almighty, that's
because there were only the woman at Walmart was like, "We only got 3 of them left. You better hurry." Well, I
holding it for you.
I hurried, and you know what? I was first in line to sit for the SNES Classic.
Now we're talking.
That's how you pronounce it, by the way.
SNES Classic, the SNES, the Super Nintendo, the Super Nintendo Entertainment System Mini Classic Edition console.
Well, okay,
Galaxy Edition.
There's no mini in there
with Knuckles. No, like if you, I just don't like joke. I really don't understand all of the like pitchforks and torches for this. It's for $35. Now here's like, let's break down what we've just talked about over the last 45 minutes. Right. I get 20 free games. I'm going to get 3 more a month. I have cloud saves. I can play online games that I knew that I was going to have to pay online to play online. Right. Yep. I knew that was coming. I have an app to connect voice and I have special offers and bonus. I can share games with people in my family group if I want to. I just don't see it. I don't get it.
Yeah, and to be clear, I know I've said this a bunch, but to be clear, my whole thing was I just thought without all the red tape, right? If they had just said cloud saves for all, if they had just said, the DRM check on the games was a month instead of every 7 days, if they just alleviated a lot of the jumping through hoops, this would have been something that everybody, there wouldn't have been all of the conversation. That was my thing, is they had an opportunity to really get people excited about the cons. Yeah. Like it could have been a system seller. If they had SNES games in this original launch, or if they even said an SNES games come in February, if they just alluded to it, there would have been a lot of excitement about the program. We wouldn't have been arguing about its worth or its merit or its features. That's my whole thing, is I just feel like Nintendo, it's like you're launching a brand new thing. Why wouldn't you want to give it the best foot out the door you could? Why launch it and with such troubled, with such muddied messaging? Just put it out there, make it awesome as best as you can, and hold it to the standard that other companies would be held to. That's the other thing I thought of. If PlayStation revealed a similar, service, because you remember their services cost more, but they get free games every month. If they unveiled a similar service with all of the red tape that Nintendo did, I think a lot of people, including Definitive fans, would have been very upset with them too. So that's my whole thing. Is I just thought it could have been it could have been a banner moment. It could have been a flagship, a tent pole for the fall, and I kind of feel like they just missed the mark. I'm happy with the service.
Yeah, I mean, well, look at us. The day that it was announced that the family thing was a thing, we were like, "Are you going to be in the group? Okay, we're going to pinch the. We're making lists the first day. Who's in? Who's in? Yep, go on it. And then as soon as we could sign up on the site, we're like, boom, let's go.
Oh yeah, we were in.
It was just is it going to work the way we hope it would work? And then, of course, it does, and that's great.
And by the way,
sorry about that, guys. My Discord decided to flip out for a minute.
That's okay. Did you guys do a family plan, Marty, or are you just doing your own thing?
Yes, we did. And I mean, we're a 2-Switch household, so and I was. That's one thing that I will compliment Nintendo on, was how flawlessly that setup worked, how easy it was.
I agree.
I bought it. I'd already set up the family plan like they told me to, or the family group, and then it just worked.
We did one for our entire podcast team, or at least the majority of the Switch owners. So we we filled up 8, and we just split the cost, and that's it. We were live within minutes.
Pennies a day. Pennies.
You guys are good.
Yeah. And I guess that's to circle back to what I was saying, or I guess that's why I can't really get mad at them about it. I mean, do I hope that there are some things that change? Yes. Do I hope that there's features that come to it that get implemented later? Absolutely. I don't really love the app, right? I'm not in love with that idea, but I could see why they did it. I understand why they're making us do it that way, because it does continue the portability of the console, right?
Yep.
Right.
It doesn't tie you to a dock or tie you to a TV. So I get why they're going that direction. I don't love it. I'm not married to it, but maybe all of this, ire here at the beginning is a little unfounded, because down the line, it's going to get better.
Good segue.
And the only way that I know how to describe that is I was not happy with Mario Tennis Aces when it first came out. but the 2.0 update has done a lot to make me love that game again.
Wow.
And they've listened. Like people complained you can't skip dialogue or you can't do this, and they put that in there, and then they did the co-op thing, and they're adding more characters. I get it. Nintendo is going the way of a lot of other software developers and hardware developers right now. They're shipping games and saying the rest will come later.
Right.
Yeah.
And we celebrated over here in Nintendo Land. We're like, 2 years of content for Splatoon. Woo! No, that should have been in there when the game launched. It really should have. And if they do it in Call of Duty, then over on PlayStation, we're like, well, yeah, they're just nickel and diming people. Of course, we get it for free. They don't.
That's true.
But
Yep.
Free. Now we don't get it at all.
Oh no!
Can be the internet troll. Now we don't get it at all.
As long as you keep
his
keep
internet
doing the
troll
voice.
is the same lady that works at the Walmart in Tennessee.
Oh,
Yeah,
in
she
the next
is.
Town over.
That's
Yeah.
the same
Oh,
guy.
Yes, sir.
Shell Shock Prime writes in, do you think we'll get SNES games next year via the online service? Caroline.
Yes.
Oh. Some.
Okay.
Some.
That's it? Some?
I think they're gonna throw like a Super Mario World and a Link to the Past, and like some of their main first party titles, but in the middle of all of their NES stuff, they're gonna expand the NES library as much as they can first party probably before they start traveling over to the Super Nintendo stuff. I don't think we'll see it until like maybe this time next year. Wow. If I had to guess.
Jason.
Yes. Yes, I do.
Marty, before I get to you, I want to say I was wondering. We were talking on Fluxtapose this week. I'm interested to see how they do this because they could continue this NES Flick style, like thing where they just keep adding to it and the service just becomes more and more valuable over time, or they could take the Caroline approach when we were all speculating what this could be. The app on our Switches right now is very much branded NES. Do you think they might launch another app? SNES. Another app, N64, and maybe we start tiering. Maybe we start tiering up in prices. Like, hey, Nintendo Switch Online comes with NES, but if you want SNES, that's $4.99 more. If you want N64, it's another $4.99. Like, do you think they could go that route to where maybe they eventually build up to a $60 a year service with this gigantic library that you have instant access to?
And then if they do that, then the value is inherent.
Yeah. Oh,
right.
absolutely.
I mean, it's like I think you might be onto something with that. Like, why price it so low? Well, so they can.
I didn't even realize that the thing was actually like an app.
Yeah, it's got
And
its
it's
own thing.
literally an NES app.
It's got the NES controllers on it, so why don't they just throw another one on there and they price them out separately? You pick and choose which ones you want, and you build up as much as you want. Maybe you want
the fact that it's coming is inevitable. I mean, we've seen the UIs have been data mined, right?
Right.
And the SNES controller little outline is there, just like the Nintendo controller outline was
they'll
there.
be getting
So
those
that's
Joy-Cons
coming.
as well.
Yeah.
Wait till you put
Yeah,
two
Can you
N64 controllers
Yeah,
on
that's
the
what
side.
Brian and I were talking about. We were talking about, can you imagine those N64 things just sitting out there?
Where's my
You're gonna
nauseated
poke somebody's
emoji?
eye out.
It's like Aquaman's trident.
Yeah, but double-sided.
No, I think that at this point, I mean, the buzz is there. That it's like at least the games are being received positively. The biggest part that I was worried about was the online, for the old games. But seeing how it's implemented and knowing that the service will probably improve over time that way, to let us play together, it's pretty flawless. I'm looking forward to online Super Mario Kart.
That's the
Super
one.
Mario Kart,
That's the
yeah.
one.
Yeah, or like I'm like some of those old SNES games,
Mhm.
Dude, if
for
we can play
two-player are just
Mario Golf 64 online,
Oh no, don't go
that's
there
gonna do
with
it.
me.
That's gonna do it. If we can block for it,
Donnie, we
Mario
won't
Kart,
play anything else ever again.
that's all we'll do. You'll see still
Ever.
hear from us. We'll just be playing golf.
I'm
for a
holding
year.
out hope.
Whoa, don't lump me in with that. Don't lump me.
I'm
in.
holding out hope for the SNES that somewhere there'll be NBA Jam
Yes,
and you can play it online.
that would be
That'd be
awesome.
sweet.
That'd be awesome. Speaking of
Get out
NBA
of your
Jam,
playgrounds.
the NBA Playgrounds 2K is coming October 16th,
Mm-hmm.
$30. Looks great. It's got Michael Jordan. Oh, it's good. It's good stuff.
Boo.
Why
They
are you
burnt their
booing
bridge
it?
with me.
Oh, because of the
They
first
burnt
one?
their bridge with me, and Shaq Fu did not repair it.
Yeah, I hear you, but
honest.
I'm the new one looks good. It's got a season mode. It's got championship mode. I'm willing to give him another shot. I'm willing to give
Is
him
it
another shot.
playable?
I think
Does
so.
it have actual sensical controls? 'Cause
The
that would
last
be
one got
pretty-
better with the updates. Brother Lucas writes it. Speaking of flicks to pose,
He's my friend.
Brother Lucas.
Aww.
With NES games coming out on the Switch via the live service, what are the chances that we see games like Wind Waker released? How would you release it? Standalone, HD remaster, or the original GameCube version? How high up the ladder do you think Nintendo is prepared to take emulation? The N64? The Wii? Caroline?
I didn't even think about like an HD versus a not. I think you have to skip it on the GameCube and you have to put it on the Wii U HD release because there were so many more quality of life improvements to that game, like a Swift
Right.
sale, that why would anybody want to play it?
The Shard
elsewhere?
Collection? Yeah, but you say that, but you're the
Yeah,
same
that too.
person that goes, those
I
old
know.
games aren't the same without the old controller. You
I
know there's
know.
Zelda fans out there that
I
think that
know.
the game isn't the same.
They're gonna give you
I
both
know.
because
They're gonna
really,
give- yeah.
if you can sell you if they can sell you both.
But by
We will
that
sell
by
you-
that time we're gonna have two GameCube controllers on either side of the Switch, and it's just gonna be madness. So
You don't even need to do
Uh,
that. You already can get your GameCube controller right there.
like I don't know. It's a good question. Same thing with like what happens with those dual releases, like a Twilight Princess that was released on both GameCube and the Wii. Do you release it and then again on the Wii U as
Yep.
HD? Which one do you put that one on? I think that's a good question because if we're doing it in the tiers, is like Super Nintendo, N64, etc., going as, I think you have to omit some of those and just put the best versions on there.
I think for the sake of not being redundant and
Right.
and wasteful of your resources, you've got to, because I mean, if you put out, like, that's a great example. If you put Twilight Princess out on GameCube, Wii, and Wii U, if that's what it comes to emulation on the Switch, right?
Mhm.
Which one are people going to play? Like, if they
Right.
play one of them, chances are they're not going to play the other two. And
On
then
top
you've
of that,
wasted
the
your time.
Wii version is completely mirrored anyway.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
I mean, you've got the original as it should have been versus mirrored versus original how it should have been, but looks way better, especially on an HD console.
And that's how I feel about Wind Waker. Like, just
Maybe they do
Cut-
a Zelda pack. Maybe they do a Zelda pack or a Mario pack.
I
And
would
they
be
just
fine
like
with
throw
the
all
Zelda
of these
pack.
together. Dude, that would be insane. That would be awesome. I mean, like, you're just catering
if
to
they
people that
do
love certain franchises.
Wind Waker, Twilight Princess. If they just paired those two together, even and
Sure.
re-released them. I mean, here's the
Jason,
thing:
need all
that's
the
a
Zelda
that's a
remakes.
that's a Shaq
Right?
prediction from the NX days.
ports
What?
are coming. And
Zelda-
can I
Zelda
say
HD
this because
collection.
Zelda HD
I don't
collection.
know if you guys talked about it on last week's show. The fact that new Super Mario Brothers U is getting ported,
Right.
and the best Super Mario Brothers game of all time, besides Mario 3, has not yet been announced as a port, is a travesty of justice.
It's coming.
What,
I
3D
know
World?
it is.
Yeah,
Mario
3D
3D World is the best
Yeah.
Mario game besides Mario 3.
Yeah, that's really
Ooh.
good.
Quote me. Best music of a Mario game ever.
Oh,
when you
yeah.
when you get to the Bowser Casino, whatever.
Oh,
Yes.
that one's
my
really good.
gosh.
I really like the haunted house one. Like that
Yes, it was
the
so much fun. And
spooky
all
ass
I'm
one.
telling you, all they need to do is release that game with DLC characters, add in new characters like they've done with Mario U. You know, put in Wario and Waluigi. Done. Game of the year. Just because Waluigi's in there.
I did enjoy getting Rosalina unlocked and replaying it
See?
just with Rosie.
Mario 3D World is my favorite 3D Mario game. So I'm
Yeah.
I'm right there with you.
I would
It's
even be okay
top.
with the sequel.
Sure. That'd be great.
I'd be okay with the Switch sequel.
Back when we were talking NX
Sorry,
days,
I didn't mean to derail there.
No,
That's
it's
what I
fine.
did, derail.
Back when we were talking NX days and we were talking about what the first year lineup and everything could be, I came up with the idea of Mario or a Zelda HD collection. I was like, this is what they should do, and I still think they will. I question whether or not they'd sell both of them together because I definitely think they could sell both of them independently.
Dude,
they could totally they could reskin both and sell them for $60 each. They could. Because here's the thing.
No, I'm just thinking about how amazing it would be to have like an even HD version of Ocarina and Majora's. Like even though
that would be amazing. I'm right there with you. If they went to like a Zelda Collector's Edition pack like they did on the GameCube, it could be huge. But I do want to say that if they did the HD collection, that gives them something to put in between the upcoming space. Probably not next year, but maybe the year after, because eventually people are going to start asking. Or Zelda, because they're going to want to know when's the next Zelda, and like if the next Zelda is not in production, it's not coming out, and the last one took 8 years, they got to start putting something out. They got to put off a spin-off or a port or something. They got to start doing something. So I think an HD collection for the Wii U Twilight Princess port makes a lot of sense, especially if you're going to HD Skyward Sword. I could totally see them going, here's HD Wind Waker and Twilight Princess port. And people go, oh, it's a port machine. And then they go, and Skyward Sword HD comes out this fall. And people go, oh my God. And they go bananas.
Without motion controls.
Thank you.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they could totally do that. And they could give it the Wind Waker treatment where they clean up a lot of the code and everything. And that could be the way to unveil that game.
I didn't have a lot of trouble with the motion controls, aside from the heart playing in that one thing where you're trying to repair the chandelier. But that's
I really love Skyward Sword.
I do too.
Yeah, it's really good.
It's definitely my second favorite game.
Ooh, it's not mine, but it's really good. Last question comes from Melissa. Caroline, what do you think about Sony taking a page from Nintendo and releasing the PlayStation Classic?
So let me copy your homework. Okay, don't make it look like you actually copied it. That was my favorite meme that came out of it yesterday. Guys, you're not even trying. I
have a word that came to mind.
Copycat? No, but I mean like
what was that?
Petty.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, plagiarism.
Let's announce news about our console, which has 20 games. Right as Nintendo's dropping their service of 20 games.
I thought about that too. Absolutely. It happened the exact same day. It just bothers me that it's the same. Do some different sort of marketing for it. Nintendo did the thing with the hand. They did it for the NES. They did it for the Super Nintendo to show size. Don't tell me y'all can't do something different.
Right.
It's so simple and it's effective, but I mean, they're being they're being mocked about it, and rightfully so. I mean, it's like they're like, yeah, we'll just do what they did. And it's only 20 games, and they're not even that good.
Ted mentioned that Sega did it first.
Yeah, Sega technically.
A company that's been so dominant, in this console cycle, for them to make all of the missteps that they've made in the last 6 months is astounding to me.
Right.
They've been tone deaf about this. Their response to Fortnite crossplay has been tone deaf.
Their response to crossplay in general, they're not playing ball with anybody. But
oh no. Fortnite, PlayStation 4 is the best place to play Fortnite by yourself.
The Sega did it first thing. Number one, that was not done by Sega. Oh, it might have been done by Sega, but it was not a small actual version of the Genesis. That has since come out, by the way. And it was not the actual controllers for the Genesis. Trust me, I got one. I played it. They're Chinese knockoff emulations. They suck. I have not bought the new Genesis thing, or I might be playing it. I might be buying it.
So I'm going to step in.
Pushed back to 2019 now.
I'm going to step in. Well, I love the fanboyish takes that you guys have. I actually think this is shrewd, smart business by PlayStation. Why would you not look at Nintendo releasing the NES Classic and the SNES Classic and go, we can get in on that? If I was any other investor at any other company, I'd be looking at all of them going, why aren't you doing this? Why aren't we releasing some sort of collection? This is free money.
I mind the way that they did it. The way that they did it is literally as a designer and an illustrator and somebody that did the marketing stuff, it really is just cheap copying, plagiaristic.
But why wouldn't you
stuff.
want to connect your? I mean, isn't that what Coke and Pepsi do? Like, that's how business is done. If you see something that's super successful, like almost everything is copycatted. Why wouldn't you do that?
Matter of time. We knew it was
Spotify
coming.
does it, and then iTunes Music does it, and Google Play does. Like, that's corporate.
I just think it's funny that they called it PlayStation Classic.
Yeah, that's
here's the thing.
Direct swipe.
Okay, so I have had a PlayStation. You realize a PlayStation has used the PlayStation Classic moniker for like 2 decades. Their backwards compatibility thing, like that's their virtual console. Like what we call virtual console, PlayStation gamers called PlayStation Classics. They've had that forever.
Okay, then they should call it something else.
Why?
I mean,
they're sitting there. They're thinking if you're Shuhei Yoshida, you're sitting there going, "We had PlayStation Classics in 2001. Why should we change?"
It's just the way they presented it is just.
I'm just trying to be fair. I'm just trying to offer the others.
I understand,
add one little wrinkle to this storyline that I think is like Sony kind of coming out with a 1-2 punch at Nintendo over the last couple of days. This was announced, and then apparently it leaked online tonight that PlayStation Plus offering for next month is Diablo 3.
Yeah.
Oh.
I like it.
I was thinking about that.
I say petty.
I agree.
I think it's smart.
It's kind of like that kid in your class who couldn't stand to see you succeed, and always had to try to do something.
I think it's smart. I really do. I get what you guys are saying. Now here's what I want to say. You want to have a little fanboyism? When I woke up and saw the PlayStation Classic was announced, I laughed out loud in my bed. I laughed like why anybody would want to play those games with that controller without the analog sticks. I just laughed so hard. I was like, this is such a reach. This is ridiculous. That said, the idea of it, they're totally going to sell a bunch of them and make money.
Sell.
It's a good
coming
business
out on that. It's coming out on the anniversary of the release of the PlayStation. They're going to sell a ton of them.
Yep. All the Sony ponies are going to get one. They're all going to relive the days of
bring back the marketing too. The "You are not ready. Welcome to the next level." Bring it all back because that was my jam. I was a Sony kid back then. I loved that console. But
Welcome to the Next Level was Genesis, dude. It was a Sega thing.
Gen 1, but Gen 1 polygons. No. Never.
No. Exactly. Yeah. I was listening to the trophy room. They were like, I can't wait to play Gex the Gecko. I was like, are you serious right now?
Gex the Gecko is not
terrible games.
I mean, it's Joseph Moran, bad. I mean, the guy.
I get it, but like that's why I laugh. I laugh at the execution of the idea, not the idea itself. And Sega delayed theirs, which I think is smart because if Sony's doing theirs and the Switch is selling and Red Dead, like. This market's pretty full right now. Just delay yourself into the spring, and you can resell the Sega one. So I think it'll be good. But if
you really want a hot take, I don't think that anybody wants to play any of that era's games as badly as they think they do.
Oh, I agree.
Maybe Tomb Raider.
I agree with you.
No,
because here's the thing:
not Tomb Raider.
NES games hold up. NES games hold up, and we have people making games that look like them.
Exactly.
Hello, Shovel Knight. SNES games hold up, and we have people making games that look like those. Hello, The Messenger.
Blossom Tale.
I don't see anybody who's like, let's make games that look like Tomb Raider and Mario 64.
Ukulele.
We've had, and I'm sure you have had too. We've had those arguments about the idea of an N64 classic. My only rebuttal to that is just the hackability. If I could play the old, like, there's a part of me that would like to play the old wrestling and sports games just because they're fun to play. But I do agree from the visual standpoint.
Visually,
like those games are they look and play terribly.
They have not aged as well.
Nope, not nearly as good as like a.
You have and the thing is what like I say that. And I don't say that to be malicious. It's like the industry was undergoing such a shift in that time in understanding 3D games and 3D polygons and space, like all of that, there's just some stuff out there that people just like act like is, the second coming of video games. And I'm like, guys.
Bubsy 3D.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
That's
I mean, you
exactly
think
what I
about
was
how
thinking
far
of.
they went with just the next gen. The PlayStation, the GameCube was such a huge leap from the PlayStation and the 64. So no,
Yeah.
I'm right there with you. I laughed out loud when I saw the classic. I thought it was absolutely hilarious, and it'll be interesting. As I told our folks in Discord, I can't wait for you to stream all those great games. I expect to see all of the old PlayStation 1 games. I expect you to play through Metal Gear. Like, I want to see it. Like, don't tell me about it. I want to
if
see
Metal
it.
Gear Solid's on it, people are gonna lose their crap.
Final Fantasy VII. Everybody's talking about Final Fantasy VII. I'm like, you literally have an option to play that everywhere.
Literally,
You can play it on PC. You can play it on Vita. It's coming to Switch. Why would you? I don't.
Coming
I
to
don't get
Xbox.
it.
Because
I don't get it.
so what's next? The Sega Saturn Classic?
The Sega Saturn, the
Jesus.
Dreamcast.
Play some Bug.
Bug. Wait, I would play Knights for the Saturn. That was like the only good game I
Was
liked.
Panzer Dragoon on Saturn?
Virtua Fighter 3.
Virtua
4?
Fighter 3.
I played Die Hard on
was on
Saturn.
there, wasn't it? I think all of them.
No, I'm sorry, not
Die Hard.
Virtua Fighter. Virtua Cop. I played on Saturn.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, Virtual Cop was good.
Oh god. So anyway, that wraps up our mailbag. That wraps up our show. We're an hour. I knew we were gonna to go. So next week we'll come back with what we're playing, and we'll talk about Tecmo Bowl and all that. But let's go ahead and wrap this up and get us out of here. So let's give Marty the stage. Marty, thank you so much for coming to the Shack. I appreciate it. Let everybody know how they can follow you and all the great stuff that the Nintendo dads do.
Guys, I appreciate you inviting me and having me on, and it's been an honor to be part of your show. I love talking, as is obvious, which is why you've run
We
over
love
an hour.
listening to the voices and everything.
But anyway, you guys, I'm on a little show called Nintendo Dads. You can find us on social media, basically Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, Twitch, all at Nintendo Dads, all together, all lowercase. Our podcast comes out every Friday morning. We record on Thursday nights, just like you guys do, and we are nearing 200 episodes. Yeah, I know. Like tonight is 197, so in 3 weeks will be our 200th episode,
Congrats.
which is crazy. And we and you know, if you haven't listened to the show in a while, we've gone through a few changes, cast members, additions, and subtractions.
Can we get Gary something to just make him a little more happy? Like, can we just like improve his mood a bit? Like, he just, just kind of hates everything. Can we do
Yeah, I
something?
know.
Can we give him
I
like a
Has he been
massage?
talking to Kevin?
I love
Yeah,
Gary.
he's very salty. Gary is all the time.
We'll tell him to work on that. We'll tell him to get up a little bit earlier and have some more tea. But no, so like Zach is, he's kind of moved over to video production and things, and Gary has kind of come along as the fourth Nintendo dad. Justin has kind of come back after a summer hiatus, and so we're trucking on 200 and beyond, right?
Yeah.
And so also, if you want to follow me personally on Twitter mainly and Instagram, I'm not very interesting, just board games and video game posts. It's at Marty Estes, just my name.
Thank you so much
There
for
you
joining
go.
us, man. Jason?
Man, you're
Yeah,
welcome.
absolutely.
Anytime I will be here.
Awesome. We'll take you up on
And I
that.
hope I didn't offend people on your show too much. When I
That's
told
okay.
them.
Just
That's what we
Sean.
do.
Just Sean.
I'm glad that finally somebody else was here to do it besides me, because I'm the one that gets all the flack.
Usually
That's
Donnie
what
does
I'm
it.
here for.
Did you hear the Fluxtapose fallout? Apparently somebody called Spider-Man a last-gen game, according to Josh. I don't know what
Oh,
he's talking
snap.
about. So
I even missed that, and that's my own show.
I and that person would have words. That's my game of the year.
it's a thing that I said. I said a specific part of Spider-Man reminded me of a
Oh, yes,
last-gen
now I
game.
remember.
And
Now I
then
remember.
somebody took that and ran to
Yeah.
our Discord and said that I called it a last-gen game
Donnie doesn't like this.
because they like to do that to me.
He said bad things.
I'm quoted out of context quite
Out
a
of
bit.
context.
Oh my God. I
I'm
love
quoted out of context quite a bit around here. Because I like to say
Never happened.
I got hot takes like you, Marty. I like to speak my mind. Apparently, I hated NES Online, according to Sean Capri. Jason, where can folks follow you and all the things you like to do?
I'm on the Twitterverse at JW Lacey. Of course, I'm here. I try to be here a lot. I do another show, Fluxtapose. Donnie was a guest this week. You want to get that's your nice introduction to the world of Fluxtapose and the wacky things we do. And I'm always on Discord, so hit me up. We'll play some Tecmo Bowl. We're gonna play some Diablo. We're gonna play some Smash Brothers. So
Mario Party.
all that.
Oh, dude, can you imagine the old Mario Party?
I can't justify
Come on.
$60 to play online minigames.
Valkyria
Limited mode.
Chronicles.
If they give me the full board game one day, yes, but not till then.
Caroline.
Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Twitch, and YouTube. The Nintendo name. Dudes, I would love to have you on my stream every day, 3:30 to 5:30. Sometimes I go earlier, sometimes I go later. It depends on how I feel during the day. And that's
if your
weekdays.
webcam is working.
Yeah, oh my God. Don't even talk to me about today. It was just a bad day. And on the weekends, Sundays, pretty much all day. Just whenever I have time. No Saturdays because that's college football, folks. But yeah, I would love to hear from you guys. And I'm on the Shack every week. And Kevin and I just did a new Arcadia Academia on the original The Sims. It came out in 2000. 2000. So if you like old school PC games, as old school as that can be, I don't know. There's older school.
You know, speaking old school, the PlayStation Classic, it's one of the things that for the first time in my life made me feel old. Because I was like, I remember the PlayStation Classic. Like the NES and the SNES are kind of before me, but the PlayStation wasn't. I was like, oh man. And then somebody was like, well, wait till you get the PlayStation 2 Classic. I was like, oh no.
Yes, it's not before you.
Now I'm starting to get old. I mean, they kind of were. At least for me, I didn't have them when you guys had them. You know, like I didn't either,
but I played them as they came out.
So. Anyways, I'm Donnie Reese at Playing Nintendo on Twitter and Discord. Ain't no G's in Playing Nintendo as one dub. Sean Capri. We appreciate all of you for listening, especially our patrons over there at patreon.com/makeusbetter. Check out the blog, psvg.blog. Click the Discord link at the top. Come join our Discord where we hang out every day. Go check out the Nintendo Dads and their Patreon, I do. Patreon Nintendo Dad member 100 over here, and you can chat with them as well. I love getting through my work week with all of our Discords. I'm a part of 10 different servers now, so it's good stuff. And Nintendo Shack every Thursday night. We appreciate it. Every Friday morning we drop. Thank you so much for coming, everybody. Thank you so much for listening. And once again, Marty, thank you for dropping by this very special occasion. The Nintendo Switch Online launches. Good night, Koopalings.
Bye!
Woo!